Yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is Bluff City here, back with another video. And boy, oh boy, old Jimmy Kimmel, the most unfunny man in America, gets the boot from ABC for talking about Charlie Kirk. Mm-mm-mm. Like, I know he saw several other people lose their jobs, lose sponsorships, lose a whole lot of shit by dragging Charlie Kirk's name in the mud immediately after he was assassinated by that fucking weirdo who's left leaning. Yes, left leaning. He was not MAGA. He was raised in a right leaning house, but he did not turn out right leaning. Oh, no, 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 no. And that's what Jimmy Kimmel wanted to put out there, that he was a right leaning individual that did this, but that has been debunked multiple times. And now Jimmy Kimmel, old Jimmy Kimmel, a man who really has not been relevant, to me at least, since the late 90s when him and Adam Carolla used to host The Man Show. I know most of us remember, if you're my age, you remember The Man Show from like 1999 to like the early 2000s. Pretty good show. Very entertaining at the time, where they talked about social issues and, kind of a pushback with all the girly stuff going on at that time. Oh yeah, let me mention this. I know we all remember good old Jimmy Kimmel being in blackface, pretending to be Carl Malone and Oprah. I think the Oprah one was a tad more cringe in my humble opinion. Looking back at that shit, I mean, you could Google that if you've never seen it. I'm just warning you right now. It's not the best thing you ever want to look at. But anyways, let me get into this article by CNBC. ABC on Wednesday pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live off air immediately over its host's controversial comments, linking the alleged killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk to President Donald Trump's MAGA movement. Trump praised the move, which came hours after Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, Chair Brendan Carr suggested that ABC's broadcast license was at risk because of Jimmy Kimmel's remarks. ABC is a subsidiary of Disney. Just before ABC's announcement, Nexstar Media Group said that its stations are affiliated with ABC would preempt Kimmel's show for the foreseeable future, beginning with The Tonight Show. Because of the host statements, Nexstar is seeking FCC approval for its planned $6.2 billion merger with Tenga. About 10% of the approximately 225 ABC affiliate stations are owned by Nexstar. Tenga owns about 5% of ABC's affiliate stations. An ABC spokesman on Wednesday night said Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. He put his foot in his mouth and he's paying the price. I mean, no, this is not him, quote unquote, being canceled. He's being pulled from ABC for being a dumbass, at least in my opinion. A person familiar with Kimmel's situation told CNBC the popular late night show host has not been fired. Disney brass plans to speak with Kimmel about what he should say when he goes back on the air, according to a person familiar with the situation. His opening monologue Monday night, Kimmel suggested that Tyler Robinson, who was fatally charged with shooting Charlie Kirk on September 10th while the activist spoke at Utah Valley University, was aligned with Trump's Make America Great Again movement. The MAGA gang trying to characterize the kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything one of them and doing anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it, Kimmel said. In between finger pointing, there was grieving, he added. Carr, whom had nominated as FCC chair, told right-wing commentator Benny Johnson earlier that Kimmel's comments were truly sick and was a strong case for a faction against ABC and Disney. I mean, if Stephen Colbert wasn't making them any money, shit, I know Jimmy Kimmel was barely making shit for them, because late night television ratings are in the toilet last time I checked. This is a very serious issue right now for Disney. We can do the easy way or the hard way, Carr told Johnson. These companies can find ways to take action on Kimmel. There is going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate the public interest, Carr said. The FCC in March told Disney and ABC that it was launching an investigation of the company's efforts to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, known as DEI. Huh. Yeah, how'd that work out? Kimmel is the latest media figure to feel backlash for the public comments about Kirk's assassination. MSNBC fired political analyst Matthew Dowd last week for his on-air comments about the killing, saying that hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. I would not agree that everything he said, I'm talking about Charlie Kirk here, was quote unquote hateful just because you disagree with it. Let's keep that in mind. I mean, hell, this is coming from someone that was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I'm talking about me here. I was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with a lot of things he said. There were some things I did agree with him on, but I was not a follower of his. You know, some things I thought, okay, that's a slippery slope, man. And some things I really wish he didn't discuss at all. But that doesn't mean I should go out and dehumanize him and call him, a Yahtzee or anything like that. No, it's never that serious for me. But some people are so miserable that that's what they'll resort to when they have no real counter argument to what you're talking about. And that's what a lot of people are realizing about the left. I'm going to do a future video on that very soon. The Washington Post opinion communist Karen Attiah, I think I'm saying that right, said the newspaper fired her last week. She said there were racial double standards in social media reactions to Kirk's slaying. Stupid. Trump on Wednesday night suggested that NBC follow ABC's example with Kimmel and cancel its own evening shows. This Night Show starring Jimmy Fallon and Late Night with Seth Meyers. I don't know anybody that watches these people. If I'm being just totally honest with you, I don't know anyone that watches these people. I've never found Jimmy Fallon funny, and Seth Meyers, like, who the fuck is he? Who the fuck is he? If I'm just being real, he's not no one important to me. Great news for America: the ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for having the courage to do what had to be done, Trump wrote in a Truth Social post. Kimmel has zero talent and the worst ratings than even Stephen Colbert, if that's possible. I remember when Stephen Colbert was mildly entertaining when he was on Comedy Central, following or right before Jon Stewart. He would come on first, and then Jon Stewart would come on later. Or that was early in the evening. I think Jon Stewart would come on first, like when he air a new episode, then Stephen Colbert. But anyways, back during those times, they were a lot more entertaining at the time, at least in my opinion. Nowadays, please, you couldn't pay me to watch either of these fucking clowns. The White House's rapid response account on X said that ABC was doing their viewers a favor. Yeah, Jimmy is a sick freak. A comment on account tweeted, Anna Gomez, an FCC commissioner nominated by President Joe Biden after Carr's comments to Johnson, tweeted, in an inexcusable act of political violence by one disturbed individual must never be exploited as justification for broader censorship and control. This administration is increasingly using the weight of government power to suppress lawful expression. No, that's what the left was doing when they were in power. This is just holding people accountable, if I'm being real. After ABC pulled Kimmel's show, Gomez wrote on X, free expression is non-negotiable. It marks the line between freedom and oppression. We must defend it without compromise. Did y'all feel that way when y'all were deplatforming conservative influencers on the internet and canceling them because they said things that you didn't like? Something to think about. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer condemned ABC's move. America is meant to be a bastion of free speech, Schumer, a Democrat in New York, wrote in a tweet, everybody across the political spectrum should be speaking out to stop what's happening to Jimmy Kimmel. No. Absolutely not. This is not cancel culture. This is accountability culture, which should have happened a lot sooner if you ask me, but hey, better late than never. This is about protecting democracy. Yeah, that's what they all say. The unions that represent writers and musicians who work on Kimmel's show criticize ABC and the FCC, of course. This is not complicated. Trump's FCC identified speech it did not like and threatened ABC with extreme reprisals. No. It was ABC who was concerned with how this would turn out. They did this long before Trump even did anything. What are you talking about? Said Tino Garlo, whatever. It doesn't his name doesn't matter. President of the American Federation of Musicians in the United States and Canada, in a statement. This is state censorship. It's now happening in the United States of America. So not some far off country. It's happening right here and right now. Yeah, oh, whatever. The Writers Guild of America West and Writers Guild of America East, in a statement, said the right to speak our minds and to disagree with each other, to disturb even, is at a heart of what it means to be a free people. Yeah, I actually agree with that statement. You have the right to speak your mind. You don't have the right to spread lies and claim it's truth. Jimmy Kimmel went up there and lied about that dude who shot Charlie Kirk being a right winger. It has been proven he is not. That's what this is about. This is about him being a dishonest piece of shit. Yes, he can still technically say those things, but then again, he doesn't want to be held accountable for saying untrue things because he's a leftist and he feels like the rules don't apply to him. And he learned that the rules do apply to him, just like it has applied to the right for so long. Come on now. It is not to be denied, not by violence, not by the abuse of governmental power, nor by acts of corporate cowardice. Who cares? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, yeah. Good old Jimmy, unfunny Kimmel will no longer be on TV, boring people to death with his stupid monologues. And let's be real, I don't even see this man. Like, what type of viewership he's been pulling? Like, I can't even imagine him pulling more than 2 million people a night to watch him being so boring and so unfunny. Like, come on, man. The left is really experiencing the F around and find out era because this has been a long time coming. For way too long, they've been showing their ass. They've been getting away with way too much. They've been saying whatever the hell they wanted with no consequences. To them, that's free speech. To them, that's free speech. All Charlie Kirk wanted to do was have a conversation and come to some common ground. But people like Jimmy Kimmel don't understand that. It's either you agree with us 100% of the time or you're a piece of shit. You're a fascist. All this other crap. Now he's about to pay the price, as he should. And as well as other people, like everyday people have been losing their jobs because they've gone on the internet, flapping their gums a little bit too much about the whole Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and they lost their jobs. And then they make follow-up videos crying, where, lost my job. What happened to freedom of speech, man? Shout out to those employers that have fired those people. And we're going to see more of those videos soon to come. And I'm going to do a future video about that as well. So if you want to see that video and you don't want to miss it, hey, make sure you subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Also, hit that Linktree link in my description, so you can follow me on other social media platforms as well as support me directly through Cash App and or PayPal. If you choose to do so, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, if you do so, I will shout you out in my next video, and there's a promise. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all have a good one and be safe out there.